So here we are, it's Mission Impossible 6, Mission Impossible Fallout. Is Tom Cruise doing crazy stunts? Of course he is. Is Tom Cruise running for an incredible distance, an incredibly long time? You bet your sweet ass he is. Mission Impossible has been going from strength to strength in the last few films. From J.J. Abrams' Mission Impossible 3 and Brad Bird's Ghost Protocol, the films have always been fantastic action films. And now with Mission Impossible Fallout, people are saying that this is the best Mission Impossible film and maybe one of the best action films ever made. That's incredibly high praise indeed for this film. But that's what critics think. What do I think? So, firstly, I want to get it out there. I'm not a huge action film fan. I haven't seen a lot of action films, and I really have to be interested in the trailers and the marketing to actually go see action films. But I do enjoy Mission Impossible. They are well put together films, and they are very entertaining. So firstly, I want to get out there, I don't think this is the best Mission Impossible film made. I still think it's Ghost Protocol. Overall, this film is very well made. It's got fantastic action. It's got brilliant performances. And I think maybe if I see it again, maybe I will think it's the best film in the series. But for now, it's Ghost Protocol. And I think this will be second on my list. So firstly, let's go through what did I like. So the supporting cast in this is fantastic. Mission Impossible's always done well with the supporting cast. They're very charismatic and they all have a part to play in the plot. Ving Rhames gives an especially heartfelt performance, and I really felt some of his scenes where there was some emotion in the actual scene, and he did it very well, so that was nice to see. Sean Pegg, as always, is kind of the comedy in the film. He had a bit more of a bigger part in Rogue Nation, but he still has a fairly big part in this film, and I felt he did well with what was given to him. So another aspect of this film that's really great is memorable villains. So Mission Impossible's always struggled with their villains. They've never been that strong, but in this film we have a returning villain in Solomon Lane, who was the villain in Rogue Nation. And he is very charismatic, he's very evil, and he plays the villain very well. Of course he has to be a British man. That's American films, the British must play a villain. And also, spoiler alert, Henry Cavill was fantastic as another secondary villain. And this may be his best film to date and his best acted film he's ever done to date. And I think his stock is very high right now, and DC should probably be looking at locking him down for more films as Superman. Not to mention, keeping that mustache and destroying Justice League was completely worth it for this film. That mustache looks simply fantastic. So going into other aspects of this film that I do love is the cinematography. So the cinematography in this film is beautiful. There's vast wide shots which give it a very epic feel, and it makes the film feel more real. You find films that use a lot of CGI, they feel very enclosed. I think I found this especially with Thor Ragnarok, because it's all on sets and CGI. It doesn't feel like it's really there, and it just feels very claustrophobic in these scenes. But in Mission Impossible Fallout, you get these very vast wide shots, and it feels very epic, this film, and the cinematography does just look fantastic. So this is obviously an action film, so what are the action scenes like? And I have to say, they're some of the best action scenes I've seen in the Mission Impossible franchise. One scene in particular really stood out for me, and that was the bathroom fight scene between Henry Cavill, Tom Cruise, and a villain that they've tracked down. So in this scene, Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise fight this man, and you really feel every hit. Every hit really has a real hard punch sound. You actually see the actual punch go into people, and you can feel the strength within each punch, and it feels very brutal. The fight choreography looks fantastic, and it's just a very, very well choreographed scene, and I think whoever put that scene together should really give themselves a pat on the back, because I was on the edge of my seat throughout. Other scenes such as the helicopter ending scene, it was just fantastic. It was on the edge of my seat, and I know there's a 15-minute clock on that scene that apparently they got to get the device in 15 minutes or it's all going to go to hell. Obviously that scene was longer than 15 minutes, but I simply didn't care. I was just enjoying it so much and was just on the edge of my seat throughout. And not to mention also the score was fantastic. I find in Mission Impossible the scores are always very good, and I felt this one stood head and shoulders above those as well, and it really added emotional weight throughout this film, and I just thought it was a very well put together, a very beautiful score. So thus far I've been very positive about the film. I did have a few problems with it, but they're not massive. I think the film did well to address the problems it knew it had, and I think the main problem people have with this film is the plot. Now, the plot is very convoluted, it's very complex, and it's very hard to keep up with. Now, it started with a very exposition scene, and I didn't really listen, and I went, oh my god, that was so convoluted. I haven't really listened. They've kind of lost me. And the good thing was they went, so in summary. So I went, oh my god, thank god, I'm back in. Now I kind of get what's going on. But throughout, I knew I was struggling to keep up with what was happening. But what the film did well was obviously adding MacGuffins in the plutonium that's going to be made to nuclear bombs. So it's quite good if you can't keep up with the story, which I'm sure a lot of people will. I really struggled. I don't really think I did. At least it comes down to the basic. Bad guys want them. Good guys want them. They're the bad guys. They're the good guys. They're just trying to get the plutonium. That's it. Don't worry too much about all the secret agent stuff. That doesn't matter. Another problem I kind of have with this film, though, is that everyone's double-crossing everyone. And I couldn't really keep up, and it felt kind of like a cop-out. You know, they go, oh yeah, he's a good guy. Well, actually, no, we want him to be a bad guy, so no, he's double-crossed you. But of course, that could be seen as a strength, that the plot is always twisting and turning and always keeping you on the edge of your seat. So I kind of see both sides of it, but those are kind of two small problems I have, but I think they addressed them well and they understood their problems, so they're not major. A problem I also noticed people had with this film was the runtime. Now, for me, I actually didn't notice the runtime. We're going into this film, a lot of people said, it's good, but my god, it's long. And I sat down, started watching it, and I was like, okay, get ready, because this will be a long film. The film then ended, and I went, that did not feel long at all. And when I looked at the time, I'd realised I've been watching the film for over 2 hours. I felt the film did very well with the runtime. I mean, it probably could have been 10 minutes shorter. There were a few scenes that I felt, maybe we should just bring this back a bit now. But I don't think it's too long. I was so entertained throughout, and I just didn't feel the runtime. But I can see why some people did. I mean, I don't mind sitting in a cinema for over 2 hours. I love film, but for the general audience goer, they don't want to sit there that long for a film. They want to just be entertained in and out, which I totally understand. But for me, the runtime was not an issue. So in summary, yeah, I really like this film. I had a really fun time. It is just a fantastic action film, very well put together, very well made, very well acted, of course, by Tom Cruise, who needed a good film after last year's Mummy, and he has done it. And overall, yeah, fantastic film. I think it's very well worth going to the cinema to see it in IMAX, see it in a nice big screen, get some popcorn, sit down, because you're going to be thoroughly entertained. So there is the review, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of a longer review. I wanted to go in a little bit more in depth for this film, which I think I've done for you. So yeah, if you've seen it, please let me know in the comments. Please like this video if you've enjoyed it, and please subscribe if you did enjoy this video. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.